Hello everyone, and welcome to another week of MMO Concept Art, and really I guess at this point it's getting to be MMO Concept Art and Completed Assets. I am your instructor, Steve Curtis. We're going to take a look at some things from three different people tonight. Unfortunately, Richard is stuck at work and can only log in on HuzzNet, so none of you out there will get to know any of the awesome things that he says to us because we're not going to share them. On that note, I'm going to pass it over to Sergio. Are you ready, Serge?
Yeah.
Alrighty, here it comes. Let's see what we got.
Cool.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Let me see. I didn't get to touch the lithium stuff, and well, this bar, it's from the old ones, but I don't know. Let's see. Well, I did another radar, and I added a few buttons there, but that uh, I guess I don't know if they're gonna be used.
Yeah, but at least we got them.
Just in case. Uh,
Ooh, look at the tiny future tech symbol. Nice.
then you have a. Let me see. Well, the target bars, I redid them. Um, this one is. I think it really doesn't work because it has too much going on.
It'd probably
And
be better to have just like one, either on the top or on the bottom.
yeah, I mean, the target bar usually displays just what you have targeted. Maybe some information on that object, but this is really too much just to display a name.
Right.
And the size that it usually appears on MMOs and such, it really doesn't, I think it doesn't work that much. It can be reused for other stuff, I don't know, but for a target bar, it's maybe too much noise. This one is simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that one better.
Right.
And you have a secondary field here where you can display, I don't know, auras or whatever, active skills, I don't know, that the target has. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a very nice design, and as the game progresses and we figure out what we actually need, we can just do some adjustments. But I do
Hmm.
like the layout. And who knows, if we're really lucky, it'll work perfectly the way it is.
Yeah. The backgrounds on everything have two layers because I didn't know exactly how much transparency or how much noise will this generate in the actual game. I mean, I never did this, so.
Well, you're in luck, Sergio, and either way.
Then you have a menu window. You can populate this with different buttons or whatever. Uh, Let me see. Where is it? Which is basically the bars on the sides, and I mean, you can use this even like this,
That's very
or
cool.
if you
Looks
want.
very future techy. Ooh.
For a menu, like a inventory or something.
Yeah. And a chat. Let me see. Well, the chat is divided like this because I've seen in several MMOs that the display of the users, I mean the text the users, the chat bubbles or whatever, it generally displays in this window, and you have a separate for system messages.
Mm.
But that, I don't know really how much of this you're gonna use, and if you want, you can even collapse this
Right.
if you're not using it.
Very nice. I'm proud of you for thinking of a chat window.
Yeah, I don't know if Nelson is gonna agree, but
Well, I know he wants to eventually put in chat, so we'll figure out exactly how he wants to use it when we get there.
Yeah, he might rather have a chat door than a chat window. Just can't tell.
And once again, proof positive that Wolf is in class.
and the one I really want to redo is the radar for the Lydians, because even if I like the design, it really doesn't work that much because you have a lot of noise in the middle of the radar.
Yeah, it could make it difficult to see things.
So yeah, I really want to redo this. Not the skill bar because I really like it, and the target bar I actually like.
What if you just inverted the radar? So that all that center noise was around the outside, and then you just had the spikes, thin spikes coming in a little.
That's what I was thinking about. I actually didn't have that much time because I'm still sick, and I'm a lot better, but I can only stare at the screen for a few hours at the most. Turns out it was conjunctivitis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Hey,
So my eyes are...
as long as it's not Ebola.
And I really want to redo the skill bars for the humans because right now with what I got, this doesn't really follow the same visual language that the rest of the pieces. So yeah, I want to redo this.
That's cool. Keep playing around with that. They're coming along very nicely.
Yeah, the idea is once I have this ready, or at least partly, I want to actually finish the models, especially the female model, and maybe add some rudimentary armor so you can do a low poly model so you have something to use.
Very cool. Thoughts?
I leave it in black.
You really didn't like?
No, I left this black so you can turn it off because in some MMOs I've seen options displayed here for what you want in the radar.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
options are nice.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
yeah.
Richard says, Surge, keep it though. I think I can do something with that outside of the target information object.
This one?
I'm not sure. Let's ask him. We'll probably just save this out as a whole file.
Hmm.
And then whatever you redo, just give it like V2 for version 2, and then we've got it all.
Yeah, because I think I ended up deleting the previous one, which had the other bars and all.
Oh, the human targeting
Oh no
bars.
no yeah yeah.
He's gonna
I
turn
don't
it
know
into
if
a gun. I know him. He's gonna yank it into Max and extrude it into a gun. Aren't you, Richard? I will take your silence as a yes.
I was even considering using it partly for the skill bars, but I don't know.
Yeah, that
I
might
mean,
work. Or overlay it and then mask it out to fit and see what it looks like. Yeah, there's a ton of things we can do with it.
you have I did this
See,
separate so you can.
I look at that, and if you take out the screen, it looks like a rail gun. So that's what I think he's gonna do. Yeah,
There.
yeah, that's a weapon in the making. Alrighty, nice work, man. I am glad that you are starting to feel better. I hope it finally passes soon.
Yeah, me too.
You had a
Uh,
heck of a few weeks.
yeah, honestly, I'm not even going to get into that.
That's probably best. Alrighty, well, let's, Wolf, you ready, buddy?
Yep, sure.
Alright. Then I will kick it over to you. Again, beautiful work, Sergio. I really like the semi-opacity screens.
Yeah, mostly because everything that is MMO or hello?
Yep, you're still there, bud.
Ah, everything that is MMO or that is multiplayer, you don't have a pause button to pause the.
Yeah, pause button.
Yeah, so you really need to make every single bit of the interface the less annoying as possible. So with semi-transparency, you can actually let people still kind of see what surrounds them.
Yep, I think it's
Uh,
going to turn out outstanding. And I know that
Yeah.
Richard's been playing with some of the old ones, so it'll be interesting to see. Make sure that you get that uploaded.
yeah, it already is.
Because Richard loves to sidetrack himself with that stuff. So. And that works well for me. All right, Wolf, talk to me, baby.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with how this was turning out. I had kind of an idea. I think you can kind of see what I was going for. A lot of little pieces, but this is just like things right here that didn't work at all.
Well, you couldn't have hated it too much because I don't see I Hate Life in like a crayon style written across this. So.
I did like, something that came out of it. I did like how this right here, like it's kind of like an X shape going through the box. If you know what I mean, on these sides, it sticks out
gotcha,
in the
gotcha,
corners.
yeah.
All right. So anyway, I tried it, messing around with a different, like making that more prominent, and then doing something more interesting with the tower here.
Yeah, I like that. I think what I will end up doing is taking that one Nick did and the things you did and just creating kind of like the human side, I'm going to create 5 or 6 modular pieces,
Uh-huh.
and then we can just cram them all together into whatever different buildings we want.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of shortcuts and perspective things, so there's a lot of things that like the spec here isn't
Yeah,
correct a bit. But it
don't
just
worry about
it's just to get it's better just to get kind of the impression. And this thing is actually going to be like the Elysian version of a spotlight thing, like a searchlight. You know, like that they could aim. You know, it's kind of searchlight, Eye of Sauron style, Lord of the Rings. And I was thinking that it could be, uh, you know, something turned to, you know, to illuminate areas. So, but yeah, it's it's not quite exactly what I'd hoped it would be, but it's got kind
It's got
of
potential.
yeah, it's at least an inspiration piece to inspire something, um, you know, like this that is better.
No, it came along good, and the more modularity we can find, the easier it'll be to build the game down the road. Just accessing modular pieces and creating new things out of them. And I think between you and Nick, there's access to a lot of low poly, good shapes that we can create some very nice modular pieces out of.
Yeah, and I'm gonna these light things. I'm gonna have that all throughout here, but just haven't gotten there yet. But I mean, is this working for you as far as not looking too human? Like,
Yeah, I liked the what's the word I want? I must really be getting old. English is failing me so bad anymore.
That happens to me all the time.
Oh, you're getting old too? I'm sorry. I like the juxtaposition of the X shapes versus the basic box shape,
uh,
and I think that can. I think making some pieces like that and then just stacking them in irregular ways is going to make some very cool silhouettes.
cool. Yeah. Also, if you can't think of juxtaposition, you can just say contrast. So
I like juxtaposition.
that's but instead of giant pauses. Just food for thought. Yeah. So. Yeah, because last time you thought it was too blocky, but it wasn't. You know, it wasn't complete. But
Yeah, that's come along good. I like a lot of the shape values they have going on.
okay,
Also,
what do
Richard
other people
says it's a good step forward. Keep up the awesome work.
think? Cool. What do other people think?
I'm not other people, guys, but
I like it. I think it just needs to be a little bit less boxiness around the base, kind of, because it looks like there's a
Yeah.
little bit like there's a lot of Elysian stuff on top, but then like it's like the Elysians took over a human building and stuck some stuff on the top of it, kind of.
Right. Now, do you mean in particular this area?
Like you've got the big boxy thing in the middle and the big boxy corners that kind of has like the human feel.
Uh-huh.
I think you need a little bit more organic shape, like growing out of the hard edges on the corners to give it more of an Elysian look.
Right.
Um,
I think that's
yeah.
probably what's bothering me as well. Do you have any ideas on that? Like, I mean,
I heard
like,
him
what do you
say
think it'd be?
so I know he does.
Do you think it'd be enough to like just kind of cut off the corners, or?
What you could try doing is leaving two of them, like in the final model, since I'm assuming there's another one of those cornery things behind it. What you do is you make like a tree like trunk sort of thing growing out of one side, and maybe like something that looks like tree roots growing out of the other side. That way it breaks up the blockiness and creates more organic shapes.
What do you mean by the other side?
You just want one of the other sides. It doesn't matter which one. You want to deform more than one of the corners, I think, to make it look more organic. Because if you have two organic-looking shapes, it'll make it look more like they took something existing that was organic or naturally occurring and then made blocky shapes out of that sort of extrude out of the organic stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Or maybe also something just jutting out like this way.
yeah. It need to be like a bigger shape though, I think, just to really break up the huge boxy shape in the middle.
Something like that wide.
Yeah, maybe have it grow out of the little like lighter area on the top of that other boxy shape on the corner there.
What, here?
Where you do the red stuff,
Yeah.
that lighter gray area right below that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have that like grow into that shape.
Like, like this.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Or maybe out. But
You can achieve variation even if you look at the corner you have at the foreground, let's say. You can use that same form but with the same width but a lot taller in the part of the back where you were drawing the red.
are you talking about
Or-
this cutout thing?
No, the
Or this thing?
below that. No,
Oh, down here?
yeah, the entire form, which
Okay.
is yeah, you could use that taller, and you will
Oh,
break
yeah. Right.
a lot of the edges if you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not in the same spot. You can put left
Or-
that there, and in the back where you were drawing before in red,
Uh-huh.
you can use the same shape but taller, and you can break the boxiness of the centerpiece by doing that in a few places with different heights to give it even a more I don't know, like a crystalline structure.
So
I-
are you saying like something like this, and then here maybe something a little bigger?
Yeah, you have to be careful though to
Right.
not add too much because you will end up with too much noise.
Right.
But-
Yeah, because I'm worried about the silhouette with all this stuff being right behind here, because then that just kind of makes this look like a box from far away.
Hmm.
But yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, you I mean, you guys are right. It's the middle thing is kind of is where it's kind of hurting. That seems out of place from everything else.
It's too different from the entire
Right.
visual language you're using
Right.
for the
Exactly.
lithium stuff, so it kind of breaks.
Right.
But the general structure is good.
Okay.
You just need to break up that a
Oh.
little bit.
I wonder if it. I wonder if it like something like if it just kept cutting like this, just kind of kept cutting into it, and so like this was gone, and then I don't know.
Anything like that would work, but I would start working with curves like you did with the rest of the language rather than straight cuts.
Hmm.
Ooh, oh yeah, you mean like hit? Well, because I do have straight cuts, but I also have curves
Yeah,
like this.
and since that boxy area
Yeah,
is predominantly straight cuts, I would start
yeah.
introducing curve cuts to it.
I mean, it could be something like that. I mean, the kind of idea I was gonna have like kind of battlements up here, and so it was kind of gonna be some, and that's kind of um, that was kind of the design for why a lot of this was straight up. Um, so it looks like it was kind of defendable, but I mean, it kind of looks like that's, the more stuff I do down here, the more that doesn't come across, and not that it should or needs to, but that's kind of why that looks that way. So I don't know um, if I should completely uh, throw out the idea of battlements around here, or if I should just incorporate that in a different way.
I don't think battlements are a bad idea. I guess I kind of look at it like when we were kids, you run up on a hill and like whatever rocket outcroppings, and I don't know where everybody comes from or if they even had them, but in Wisconsin there's a ton. And we would treat those like castles, but you never
Hmm.
got like a perfectly straight battlement. You just kind of played with whatever kind of shapes you had jutting out for rocks. And
Right, but it's hard to kind of design in mind, because you want to have something that kind of speaks of more organic, but you also want to show that they have advanced technology, and so it's not just kind of well, I guess we're stuck with this. So I don't, yeah.
does Magus Studio have a warp tool?
Not that I have seen, but this can easily be brought into Photoshop. But
Yeah, I might start out then with some very specific shapes, and then play around with messing them up with the
yeah,
warp tool and stuff, and seeing what kind of
yeah,
happy accidents you get.
right. But I think like they should always look like design choices. Like they should look organic because they have an appreciation for organic, not because that's the best they could do and they couldn't get something straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's difficult to design, and I I'm new to working on architecture and stuff. So
well, even to the seasoned design
yeah.
is a tough gig. So that's all right. Just keep playing. Practice makes gooder.
I mean, well, like I see what you're saying, like bringing this up, but at the same time, I don't know. That does make it. I mean, there's a lot of castles that have like little towers here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but maybe that's, I don't know. That might be more on the nose, or not on the nose for them, but just for the fantasy pass kind of. I don't know if it would just look like a castle or something.
Well, experiment and find out, buddy. Because I don't know either.
Hmm. I hmm, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just the rounding.
Experiment with some very rough sketches just to try ideas.
I don't know. it's like maybe this whole thing should have been, instead of just like that, like how some of this has been. Let's see. I don't know. But maybe like just like this underneath thing, like maybe this should have come out more, and this should like kind of go like that, and that, so it's the whole thing is more of a pentagon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you got me. I would just sit down and do a bunch of rough sketching of shapes, and then sooner or later one of them's gonna be like, okay, that's the one, that's the look I want, and then introduce it.
Yeah. I'll see.
I know you hate doing rough anything.
Well, just some, it's kind of, it tends to be, I don't know, it's just about what's more helpful and what you can kind of visualize when you're not, I mean, this takes more time, it's harder to do, but I don't know, silhouettes don't necessarily explain the whole thing. It'd be harder, more difficult to, like, say, explain this. So I don't know.
Well, and I don't even mean necessarily silhouettes, just be much less detailed and much rougher with your sketch, and just, only give yourself a few minutes for each one. Half an hour you can knock out, a dozen or so, and then when you're sitting there looking at them, things will start to pop out that you really like. That's my personal recommendation.
Yeah, I just feel like especially with it, like rough sketch for say a silhouette of a person, that makes more sense, but for this I kind of go, I don't know, it's almost, I can get my head around this a little easier, so it's just out of like not really having the practice to know, like, oh, this is how you handle that.
Well, whichever way you want to go, bud.
Yeah. No.
At the end of the day, I'm easy and cheap.
Right.
Alrighty, well, we are clicking right along here. Are you ready, Mr. Jizba?
I am prepared.
Woohoo! Coming at you live. You were gonna put a maid outfit on that, weren't you?
Yeah. Yes, I was.
I recognize that.
What from? It's from like everything.
Yeah, but it's silhouette-wise, it reminds me a lot of that one that Wolf did with the lingerie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Most of it I stole from the biped skeleton, I'm not gonna lie. Well, not most of it, but
Here's the
yeah.
biped skeleton with some greeble. Nice. So
Get me to hunched over and give it a
rigged
backpack.
then?
No, it's not at all. It's all individual things.
So it should be able to be perfectly rigged.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like the joints are separate parts instead of balls at the end of like a box basically, and the head's a robot head and it has this backpacky thing. But other than that, it's mostly the biped.
Oh, dude, I gotta give you a 10 for creativity on how to get that done.
Yeah, it went pretty quick once I stole the spine basically from the biped.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it so looks like it will just get its butt kicked in battle.
I know. It's pretty sweet. And it's not hugely high poly, unlike a lot of stuff I do.
Oh, 3,800? Even that's higher than I thought it would
Yeah, there's some cylinders in there that we could probably do without.
But it looks like he's the robot that comes in to give water bottles to the soldiers.
be. It's the water boy robot.
Here's the guy they have walk through the field spraying future tech on the plants.
That's not how you use
that's
future
nice.
tech.
Alrighty, you gonna try rigging it next?
Oh god, yeah, I guess. How are we gonna do it in game? Because we're gonna clone shapes, or am I just gonna make a scene with the rig connected somehow to this monstrosity?
I don't know.
See, I don't know enough about rigging. Like, I'll give it a shot, but I'm not sure how well it will work in the game actually.
I'll have to look and see what works about this with Unity. I would think that Unity would just accept Max's cat rigs as they are, but I'll have to check.
Okay.
I mean, it's such an easy system to use, I can't believe they would do that. Richard, I know you can't answer out loud, but maybe you can type in. Have you rigged anything in Unity? Richard? Hello? Let me guess, right now Richard is off at work doing a thing. Oh, there he is. Richard is going to experiment with rigging tonight. Because he's our resident Unity guy outside of Nelson, so.
Nice.
Alrighty, well, then,
I
also
wonder-
fighter line sketch to Dropbox. To Dropbox or CVile? Or Drobox, as you sounds like
Did Zach teach rigging for that third perspective camera game thing? Do you know what I'm talking about? Can't
I'm
remember.
sure he did. However, Zach worked, with the exception of the mastering series, Zach worked exclusively in Maya.
Uh-huh.
And it's different.
That's a different rigging system than Max uses.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, going into Unity would be the same. Although even Unity has changed things since then. Now they've got
Okay.
somebody help me out. What's their new animation thing they got?
I don't know.
Nobody.
I don't remember names of things.
Nobody knows.
It's the animation thing.
Yeah. Mechanum. That's it. So they've got a whole new animation system inside of Unity too. So we will have to play around a little bit. Alright, in that case, Richard, I will expect some sort of report on what we can do next week, and you bought Nick a free week of not screwing around with rigs.
Fantastic.
So now he can screw around with textures.
Less fantastic.
If you get to it. I know you're trying to finish up that other thing.
Yeah.
And on that note, the stuff that you were considering taking out, just leave.
Okay.
You're good to go.
Okay. That saves tons of time.
Alrighty, let's see here. I got all kinds of things to do. Alright, I will grab it back from you, buddy. Do you have anything else for us?
That's pretty much it.
Alrighty. Bring
very musical today.
I'm always very musical. I usually just mute it while I'm here because I sound ridiculous, and I know that. Yeah, my entire life is a never-ending ridiculous soundtrack. All right, Richard just sent me this. That is
Looks
a
like
very low
a-
profile sideways.
Some kind of fighter.
You blame the
Jet
musical
or spaceship.
tendency on the flowers. I certainly wouldn't know what flowers you're talking about. Richard, I really like the top-down view. I do not love the side view. Too much of it disappears.
Are those wings really doing much? Being positioned in the back like that,
Looking stylish.
looking stylish.
Would it fly as well in an atmosphere in real life? No. But that's okay.
All right.
Because technically the wings need to be at the center of mass of the plane, but
Right.
maybe there's just this gigantic heavy thing in the back, so you never know.
Yeah. And the little those little wings up the front would help produce some lift, but we don't care. We don't care.
Right. It seems right now it kind of help it flip over.
No.
Something.
Tech with physics, Wolf. I'm tired of
Yeah.
your physics talk.
All right. It's physics this or it's physics that
Yeah,
with me.
I know. I just
Day in, day out.
tired of hearing about gravity.
You're right.
Alrighty, let's see what else we got here.
And gravity is a myth, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Well,
I
maybe
can't explain that or justify that or it's a feeling I have.
All right. Remember your box, Nick?
Yeah.
Here's your box with just 26 polys. Here's your box, normal mapped with 26 polys.
It's pretty fancy looking.
I thought it came out pretty good. That's 26 poly box.
Yeah, it's not
I
bad.
thought it was a pretty good bake.
And it'll probably be more bumpier in Unity than in Max, because Max doesn't.
Yeah,
Never
Max,
seems to.
Max does a terrible job of that. I don't know why. But that's the actual normal map.
You kind of said that like you were saying, ta-da.
Ta-da! The actual normal map. So the map's actually pretty cool. It came out pretty good.
Oh, dear.
You had some weird,
Awesome.
You had some weird artifacts in your model that appear on our normal map here, here, and here.
Oh yeah, that happens to me a lot.
I don't know what they were. They were somewhere inside the middle of your model, and I felt no desire to go hunt them down.
Yeah, it's probably some of the stuff that was sticking in through the outside of the box and doing weird things.
So I just went ahead and
Kids.
left them there, and I very didn't care.
They don't show up, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly, and they didn't affect that, and at 26 polys for huge boxes, I don't care.
Nice.
So this week I will work on turning those into spec and texture maps and seeing if I can get some of them into Unity.
Those are pretty cool.
See how cool and stylish it is. Nice job on the Greeble.
Oh, thank you.
I like the Greeble very much.
I like rebowling. It's kind of fun.
Well, then we found an excellent workflow, because I hate Greebling. But I don't mind making normal maps all day. So.
Yeah, it's fun just sticking random shapes in other shapes so it looks cool.
Just in case kids watch, I'm not touching that one.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there we go. We got a nice little box. And I will get that textured up. I will also try and take your Lethean one here just over the next week or so and see what I can do about getting that one game ready. I think I just want to explode it into some modular pieces.
Okay. I don't even really remember. There's some really bad things in that model, and I'm not sure what they are. Or don't remember where they're at.
There was almost nothing in this model that I knew what it was. That didn't make it any less cool.
Well, like, I know there are some parts that are going to have bad geometry in them, just because I didn't care when I was modeling it in that 20 minutes.
Well, I'm hoping that when I explode it, a lot of that I can just fix up as individual pieces without too much trouble.
Okay.
I mean, that was no different than, you hadn't attached all the stuff on your box, so it was easy just to yank out the frame.
Yeah.
And just cap in all the sides and have an instant perfect low poly box. And so that little workflow actually worked out pretty nicely.
That's pretty... That worked out way better than I thought it would. Every time I've tried to, like, do whatever, bake out the normal map, it bakes everything in the same spot for some reason. Like, I've tried it with different programs, and yeah, instead of it being, like, boxes on different parts of that, it just dumps everything onto one of the polygons. It's just like, there you go. There's all of your UVs in one spot.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's not what I wanted. Because that's exactly how I went about trying that. Every time I've tried it, it just doesn't bake out right, ever.
Please don't crash. Okay, there we go. Are you making sure that you're using your existing channels? Because it'll pop up on automatic unwrapping.
Oh, I was actually using another program for it. I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, it was doing weird things. I didn't know Max did that, actually. I'll have to try that out.
Well, those are the two things that... One of the two things that got me when I first started was it always pops up under Use Automatic Unwrap, which will then totally ignore the unwrapping you did on your low poly, and it'll just unwrap it the way it thought to, and you end up with a mess.
That's pretty exciting.
And then also on the low poly... What are you doing? Come on. Thank you. Come back to Daddy. Wow, I am so close to crashing. Anyway, on your low poly, before you set up your cage, always make sure that you have everything set to the number 1 slot of the smoothing groups.
Okay.
And one of those two things is what screwed me up forever in trying to bake normal maps.
Oh yeah, because like in smoothing groups, sometimes I use a lot of smoothing groups when I'm modeling stuff, so that's probably what's throwing me off.
Yeah,
I'll have, like,
I noticed
3 or 4
that.
different smoothing groups.
Like the first 8 smoothing groups were gone. Like, nope, down to 1. Here we go.
Because, yeah, like, in my models, I'll intentionally, like, use it to smooth out some parts and then not smooth out others.
Let's see, what else? There was something else. But if you, in Max, if you go into your options setting under your render to texture,
Yeah.
I always make sure I use global super sampling. Max has like a 2.5 star. I can't tell you anything about that except it does a pretty nice job of detail.
Okay, cool.
And on the ray casting, where like it gives you the red box and says if any rays are bad, paint a red spot there. I just always turn that off.
Nice.
Between all those 4 things, I've never gotten a bad normal map since. So it's kind of like Max is trying to give you a bad normal map, and you just have to tell it to stop.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Alrighty, let's see here. Next on our hit parade of things to talk about. On our map for our MOBA. Do I have... Yeah, that'll do. These don't... Why are you being so slow? Do we want to run with the map, that last test map we were using, or do we want to design a new map?
What was the last test map?
That last test map we had with the... Well, you probably weren't there.
Nope.
But basically it was designed around the map that NATO did, as far as the paths and height.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of went corner to corner.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Alright, well, let's just play around.
Does it have room for... It's the one. It doesn't have room for the background for the Elysian and human.
Oh, that doesn't matter. We have infinite room for that. We're not concerned.
Oh, that was my concern.
Well, you can alleviate that concern because we have basically infinity for that. But it was sketchiness.
I mean, I don't really. No, I don't. I haven't
So NATO's
really
map,
played much of this stuff.
and all the dark areas are raised areas. This is very rough. Nick, you were around for that. Is this more or less it? Why does everybody keep leaving?
So you walk in between.
Yeah, I don't remember that map very well. It looks about right, but I'm not 100%.
So you had a... Oh, let's get a different color here.
I think maybe we should use that one until we get a little bit further along and like test out the models we're working on and see how they look, and then we can start doing a new map, basically.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
I'm not necessarily understanding the map. I understand that seems like there's just paths everywhere. If you walk
There are
on
kind
the
of
white.
just paths everywhere. Yeah, you can walk anywhere on the white area.
So basically... Whichever team you're on, you would spawn in this corner.
Okay.
And you would have your final tower here, and 2 of your defense towers here. And then you or your minions, yeah, could go down around here, or you could go in between.
Yeah. Not the final tower. The base things, right? The thing I'm building. Isn't that what we're going to be destroying?
Well, that's all yet to be decided. What ends up being
Oh,
backdrop and
alright.
what ends up being tower. But what we have to
okay.
decide is, do we run with this map, and then it'll be off the picture here partially, but then all the backdrop stuff will be
Right.
out over here.
Uh-huh.
Or
Right.
do we want to design a new map? Maybe better, maybe not. And I'm wondering what everyone's thoughts on that are.
I think we should stick with that basic layout till we can like actually like playtest stuff a little bit more, because might as well start with something simple until so we can start seeing what the early issues are, and then move to something a little bit more complex or more planned out after that.
Alrighty,
Sounds
so
reasonable.
Yeah.
just stick with the old test map and check out the little wizard guys and little wizard towers.
Yeah, we'll start testing our assets in that map, and then we can start designing a bigger map once we've started testing the basic gameplay.
Alright, that's outstanding.
So, I mean, it wasn't NATO talking about and us in general difference between height paths like bridges and things like that, where it'd be like higher and lower places. That
Yeah,
you'd
ultimately,
path for walking.
but right now,
Yeah.
like, this area was a little raised,
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of this was basically flat, and then all the black
Mhm.
spots were raised really high, like sheer cliffs.
Right. Right.
And
Not
and
walkable
was,
space.
Yeah, you couldn't get up on them or anything. So that was our initial.
I probably could.
No, I worked very hard at making sure you couldn't. But yeah, if everybody's like, yeah, that's fine, we'll just run with that, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I have no expertise in this type of game. I've played it very little, and I didn't, you know, I not enough to grasp how the levels necessarily need to be. I mean, I have just a very basic understanding, and that seems, I mean, it seems like what you really have is two main paths, and the rest is like the jungle stuff that he.
Yeah, and that is basically exactly what you had.
Yeah. So, you know, that seems like a decent enough one. Yeah, it seems like it would work from what little I know, but you know, test.
There you go.
Okay then.
It is.
Yep.
All right.
I disagree. I just completely disagree with that.
Fantastic.
That's what I think of your disagreement.
Yeah.
Not really. I like everything you
Yeah.
say.
Meh.
Don't lie to us. That's not cool.
I like most everything he says because he usually at least makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Wolf's jokes have gotten me through many a bad night. Alright guys, well I think we have covered a great deal. It looks like Richard is agreement over in BuzzNet. We will keep that test map until we've got more content and features ready to roll.
Mhm.
So I will yank that out of mothballs, and as I get some of this stuff put together, we'll start throwing it in there. Let's see what we get.
Fair enough.
Is there a place where there is a list of the skills, or
Oh my, there is.
because I
It
never
exists.
I never tested. I mean, I never played the test you have, and it will help me a lot when trying to design a bit more the characters.
Let me
And
see.
even if I do iconography for the skills to complete the skill bars and all of that, I kind of need that.
Well, we didn't really get too much done. I did write some stuff, and NATO pointed out basically on all of them that they were trying to fill too many roles, but he liked some of the stuff. Like he said, well, you take out those and you just have it be this, and then you've got something. So I remember that, and then I guess you guys did whatever you did for the test stuff. You tested out some stuff, but I think that those combinations are all that I know of that we have. I don't know that anybody else
Well, we had an actual...
wrote down any ideas.
We had an actual doc, and I'm trying to find it now.
A doc from who?
From NATO that actually listed all the skills and how much power they had.
Did he do that? Because I just remember him asking people for ideas on that. I never saw any.
We had it at one point for setting up the actual playtesting. But of course, I can't find it now.
Okay. So what you're talking about is the one designed just for the playtesting, where there's like some different. Was there different classes in the playtesting one, or was it just one class?
No, we had a tank and mage and.
Okay, so that's probably what the doc is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but it was a good start for having played around and figured out how much power different things should have, and yeah, that appears.
But
Sergio,
I mean,
my answer is we're going to completely make that up on the fly from now on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I found one link and the doc's gone. So.
But that's pretty. That was pretty generic, anyway. Like I don't think what you're looking for is like the flavor and stuff. Because it's like tank. I mean, it's like you don't really need.
Well, yeah, it was very generic, but that would be a good point for Sergio just to get up to speed.
Yeah, at least the description of the skills you have. I don't really need
Richard, when you transferred all that stuff,
values and all of that.
Were there things, Richard? Let's see. In Chris Morris's or NATO's game design documents, there's some stuff.
The PDF that says milestone. Let me see.
Yeah. Richard has some good stuff in his.
Character abilities.
And that's gonna be the lion's share of what we have right now. So no, things are not heavily worked out yet.
No, but just to have an idea of.
Well,
There, he fixed the wings for you.
Well, I mean, you can kind of think of some kind of skills and just kind of make a character around that, and
Well, clearly in the weeks coming up, deciding on some classes is going to become an issue again.
Well, yeah, kinda.
I'll try and find my the page that I was
Yeah, 'cause you had a pretty
that I
good,
wrote down.
yeah, you had a pretty good breakdown of some different class ideas.
Yeah, it just, I guess some things needed to be removed from them, but it's I mean it's just kind of like possibility. It's like they could be removed and put into other classes or whatever, but just kind of
And we're shifting
give some of the idea.
We're shifting gears a little bit because, frankly, my goal is to get a very basic playable game on a MOBA map, but I don't even really care if it's a MOBA, so long as it's fun, that's actually using final assets for the game so that we can get some more artists, because that will attract the visual people. We have a ton of people watching Nelson's programming videos, but we got to get some more artists in here.
So yeah, we gotta have something for them to actually work on that looks like it's gonna get finished.
Yeah, and we've got to have something that we can have Friday night play tests, or that we can leave on the server and people can just run in and dink around on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what they did before when Zach was here, and people came in droves. So that's why I've been pushing for modular pieces and getting some basic characters, and so we can get that first map up and running. And I don't even care if there's no actual game, so long as there's fun stuff to do. If you can whack somebody and they have some kind of funny bounce to them or something when they go flying.
Oh man, or we could get like a dance animation and we could have like dance-offs where you like force other characters to dance. You're just like, let's go.
Well, you're talking about way back when they first had the idea and they made something with like eggs. People were playing like egg-shaped things and they could have pushback. Or were you not there?
I wasn't there for that, but yeah, I have seen some of that footage from that, and yeah, and I mean, eventually they had a little bit more complex stuff, but it was a lot of fun just to run around and whack the heck out of each other. And they had, like some of the pushback was ridiculously OP, and like you'd go flying the length of the map, or
well, yeah, because they had it in a radio show format, so you could be listening to that and think, oh, maybe I'll come and join.
Richard
download
says,
that and
first
join.
things first, we need to be able to wave. So walking and waving, because that's what you do in MMOs.
No, I jump. I jump everywhere. I don't even walk.
Jumping is a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's my goal, is to kind of get us to that point relatively quickly. Let's see here. Also, as we're looking at our wonderful box here, no, I don't want to keep that. No, I don't want to keep you either. Color palettes.
Everything should be pink and brown.
All right.
No exceptions.
Color palettes from somebody besides Nick.
For what?
For texturing out our big box module piece here that we're looking at.
It should be like metallic gray, like a lot of matte with blinky lights or something. Or some self-illumination stuff. Because, I mean, the humans are going to be all metallic and or they need to look separated from nature, and like concrete and metal are going to be the quickest way to do that. And it's science fiction, so everyone needs to have blinky lights or glowing eyes or something.
Yeah, I would
Thanks
say
for laying out how to spell metallic.
I like gray. I like gray for metallic and a dark gray for some, I don't know, some contrast.
Yeah, it's got to have some colors, which I guess that
Yeah.
you can do that with lighting and stuff. But you can do that also colored glass, and which is just something to kind of.
We could even do like the orange, like just take some of the greebles and make them like orange or some other color.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't see a lot of other places in the map. Or Alethean nature.
Alright, so
An orange will actually be kind of nice, but you have to keep in mind well, at least what I understand, we were doing a desert.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I was gonna say we really need to come up with the palette of the terrain first, because otherwise.
We could end up having all of our buildings blend into the
I will go with blue, yeah.
Or clash terribly, and
okay, give me not orange that goes with blue, guys.
Huh?
pink.
Go to your color.
Oh.
Go to your color wheels. Give me something that goes with blue that's not orange. Because blue and orange is my favorite combination, and if somebody says it, it's going to end up that way again. 'Cause I really like blue.
I'm actually fine with blue and orange, like as more accent colors, as long as most of it's that metallic gray, because the metallic gray should stand out from the desert pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we decide on like a metallic gray desert, because it's all made of aluminum or something.
Alright, maybe some red or white bright signage, stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
But what
thing
are
is-
you trying to... Sorry.
We could always do like spray paint graffiti
What-
to add texture or interest too. Like it could just be graffitied up human buildings.
Nah, don't do graffiti it. Not these ones.
Sergio, think of a person as being about that big. So this
Yeah.
is going to be a big modular unit that we can build the background buildings out of. That's low poly.
Yeah, what I was going for to actually say is I wouldn't do orange. I would do just the dark and light gray and the blue, because the very
Yeah.
level will have a ton of warm colors if you're in a desert, for what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So I will just add the blue, maybe a light green, but something that doesn't really stand out. You can do for accents, but if you put it everywhere, you will end up with a mess. I don't know how to explain myself.
Alright, so light green.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the colors you have.
Like,
I mean,
using
like these, I'll
using
reserve
ac-
for signage and stuff. But
he said I think using the accents sparingly which is kind of what they're for.
yeah, but light green.
Yeah.
Is that what?
I mean, you have the dark and light gray, and some accents you can do in blue, and it all depends. If there was something I wanted to ask. How much customization of the characters is there? Can you change the color? Can you change what?
Of what?
Not right away, but hopefully at some time, hopefully. But I don't think anybody can really answer that yet.
Oh, No, okay, it's just
Like changing their armor and stuff, different colors, like picking your color. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Not at first, not a lot, but yeah, we do want to. The general
No,
consensus
because
seems
if
to have
you're
been
going
to
that
have
road,
like 3 to 4 different choices,
oh
but that
no,
won't
because
happen
if you're
first.
going that road, I think it will be best to uh, give relatively neutral color palette because between the desert, I mean for the constructions of the humans, with the desert and the colors they choose, you will end up, if you add too much, you will end up with a mess.
Yeah.
All right, so
I
a
don't know
few
if
varied
I'm
blues
going.
for accent, maybe, and otherwise, like maybe stainless,
What
gray, and gunmetal.
you can also you could make some kind of grayish blues, some very desaturated light blues or something, and then I mean not as much, but you can do some of that, and then like hit a few places with some saturated blues, so
Yeah,
it looks like a different color,
I
just
say
to
mostly
accent.
blue and light blue because if you're in a desert, it's the metal and the blues. It's what it's going to give you the most contrast because you will have a lot of colored colors, and with the blue and light blue, you will end up separating a lot the human constructions from the desert itself, from the colors of the desert, so it will stand out.
Excellent.
But
But I don't know,
if
I'm
you
not exactly trained in this, so
Wow. I don't. I
yeah
don't
It
care,
really
Sergio.
depends on the desert too. I mean, it could be the orange could work but you'd have to keep it small. I mean, like
yeah,
10 stripes or something, and it would have to be
right.
like a really shiny, like spray painted sort of orange. Like it would have to be like a really glossy,
Well, we will have a little bit of
specular.
yellow because, as Richard mentioned, don't forget hazard stripes.
yeah.
Because all human stuff has hazard stripes.
That's
Uh,
true. And sweet decals like "Don't touch this; it's dangerous."
well, yeah. Especially, I mean, like if you're, well, I don't know, you might be talking about more main buildings, but if you're talking about the back scenery stuff as well, the whatchamacallit, uh, the power supply thing, the power plant type thing, that
I'm s-
makes sense to have hazard stuff on that.
I'm sorry. My
But
chuckle was at Richard,
I
not you.
but if we I mean if you have like a building done and make a JPEG out of it or something, I would definitely uh, goof around with colors on it, try things out. But it would also be helpful if we had the desert colors we decide. So I don't know. Maybe we should. Uh,
Well, I had done a couple of.
I'll try and maybe we should all try and create a kind of a desert palette kind of thing for like what the rocky high stuff would be and what the sand dirt stuff should be and that kind of thing.
I had done a couple textures a couple months back that
Yeah.
I think it's my memory being correct and not just me being selfish about my work, but I thought everybody liked them. Um, one was kind
I
of
don't
rocky.
remember.
One was kind of rocky, and one had little flecks of crystal in it. And
Yeah.
they were both a fairly reddish orange. deserty color.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
can either start with those, because I've got it, they were normal mapped and everything, so I can slap them right in Unity. Or I can come up with something else if you want to.
Well, I'd
By
like to
I
see
mean
those.
collectively.
Yeah, I'd like to see those.
Oh,
Then,
let's see, if you're going to be like
Quick
that,
question. Be,
like,
below red and white, you wrote something. What does it say?
signage, red and white signage.
Ooh.
Like, caution, don't walk here. Just
Ah.
little bits
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
Or high voltage, don't touch this.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
don't push this red
And-
button.
or hammer time, can't touch this.
Or like the little triangle with like the mangled fingers inside of it telling you that it's a dangerous machine.
Yeah, that and the hazard stripes you don't really need to include in the color palette because they actually need to stand out. I don't know what I was thinking. That sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. That's more just for me to remember to play around with it than actually part of the color palette. Good lord, where are those? Darn it!
Well,
Wolf.
just
darn it.
you could put them in the C thingy, not Dropbox.
C5. Yeah.
C5.
Thingy horses.
I was just gonna call it the not Dropbox, but C file I guess
like
works.
The don't drop out.
But yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'll
could
see if I can hunt those up because
put it in there.
Finding them offhand, which could mean they're gone and we have to make new ones. That would suck. But I did.
But
I
yeah,
did
like I
change
said,
out my
as soon as
computer,
the as soon as the buildings are done, if you did like a JPEG of them or something, then I could just kind of color over them and mess with that Photoshop.
Alrighty, yeah, we'll play around and we'll see what we come up with. And on this last final note, although I will be working next week, it will be like a working vacation. What I will be working on will not be directly 3D Buzz related. So, you get a week off.
Alright.
I will not be anywhere near my
Okay.
computer next week.
Okie doke.
And on the last and final note, talk to me, people. What are you going to bring me after your 2 weeks?
A cookie.
Well, I'm sure
On a diet?
I'm sure I'm gonna work a little more on that building thing, but then I really want to work on learning to draw Alethians and see what I can do with that. I would like to kind of do the same, attempt to do the same thing I did with the
With the human guy?
human character. Yeah,
Alright.
the Alethians.
I actually have
But
I actually have no problem with you moving towards that if you would like to do that.
yeah, it's more likely that I'll just have some Alethian sketches, showing, working on getting better at Alethians before I start trying to do stuff with them,
Alright.
like concept art stuff, or outfit stuff,
I accept your
or
conditions.
armor stuff. Yeah.
Alright, Sergio, you got 2 weeks of which I hope one of them is healthy.
Let's hope. I'll try to finish reworking the GUI and finish the models, which is actually a bit more important. So yeah, I'll try to end with the models. If I can I can try to do a low poly, but I don't give any guarantees on that because I never done it successfully.
On the Alethian?
Yeah, on one at least. You have the male and the female. I give one to
Yeah,
Richard.
yeah.
Uh,
I just want a human and an Alethian. I don't care about gender or anything right now.
mostly so he can practice going from high poly to low poly.
Yep.
So I'll try to do one and give the other one to him. So we both get the experience and you have something a bit more ready faster.
Sounds like a plan. Nick, talk to me, buddy.
I guess I'll text you the robot.
That will be sexy.
And yeah,
For choice of
There is
words.
one other thing you can do for me, and it will not take long at all. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
what's
off and
that?
gone. Like you did your box,
yeah,
I would like a.
little tube. I can do a tube.
That's exactly what I want. A tube. Some kind of tube. The ends have to match up, so we can stick them together. But then you can
Okay,
do some windowing and greebling or whatever you want, and throw it in there, and then I will low poly that and texture it up.
sounds good. I'll make you some tubes.
You're the man. All right, guys, on that note, I really have to use the restroom because we never took a break. So I'm going to call class, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
We'll see you then.
All right, take care,
See you all.
guys.
Yeah.